Welcome to Fun is Fundamental. Fun is Fundamental is a podcast for those who realize that the enjoyment of life is about having something deep in our souls which lights our fire. It's for those who maybe have lost that fire and feel like they are missing out on the pleasures of life. In each episode, I will share recent fun activities and focus on why having fun is essential for good health. I'm your host, Alenia, and I invite you to take this journey with me and join the pleasure-seeking movement. Hi, welcome to Fun is Fundamental. And today is another old episode that I recorded a while ago. I have come to the realization that I should go on hiatus during the summers because I feel like I'm not doing anything that's like really interesting and different than what everyone else is doing during the summer. And even though I'm definitely having fun, it's just not really conversation worthy, I guess, in a way. I love summer. But I do what everyone else is doing. I'm seeking out, especially in Seattle. I mean, we have some of the absolute best summers here. If you've never had a Pacific Northwest summer, you don't really understand probably, because a lot of places get so humid and like just way too hot and just miserable. But here it's just absolutely heaven. And so, I just spend all my time, just seeking out the sun. We go to the beach. I've talked about camping. I go back and forth between eating like salads and then eating like super rich food because we go out to eat and we drink. Like, I definitely have had like more to drink than I need in the last week because we've just been like going. But it's just all very like normal things and also just not really anything that like is putting me outside my comfort zone. So it's not really worthy of talking about that much because I feel like kind of the point of the podcast is to talk about me pushing down my own personal boundaries in seeking discomfort. And that's not really what I'm doing when I'm just laying on the beach, even though that's what I want to do. So it's bringing me joy and happiness, and I can't get enough of it. I wish summers were longer. I think next summer, just letting you know, it's going to be a hiatus and I will come back with more episodes. Anyway, so this is an old episode that I recorded. It is about, it's also pretty mundane, but it's about playing on children's playground equipment, which I think a lot of adults probably just don't do that much. I mean, we were like, in this case, we were lucky and there were like no kids around, but it feels very off limits. It feels like kid territory and not adult territory. So even though it's like kind of minor and only mildly discomforting, it only caused mild discomfort, it's still slightly rebellious of us to go just sporadically go play on some play equipment. Yeah, the other day we were on our way home and I looked over at Casey, I was like, if there's not kids on the swings, we should stop and go play on the swings. And he like lit up, but there were kids on the swings. And I'm not going to go take over the swings for my child, even though I want to go on the swings. So, we just went home, which was fine. Anyway, I hope that you enjoy the episode. Also, probably worth noting that this was, I'm pretty sure, my old microphone. And so some of the sound quality isn't that great. So hopefully it's listenable enough. And obviously, more episodes with the newer Blue Yeti are going to be coming out soon. All right. Bye. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Fun is Fundamental. And today I'm talking about playing on children's play equipment at playgrounds. That was a lot of words. That was a lot of play right there. So you know it's gonna be fun. Obviously, sometimes play equipment is not made for our giant bodies. Okay, so I'll have a little backstory. We were going through a small town in eastern Washington. We were just kind of passing through. We needed to use the bathroom, really is the main thing. So we found a park that had an open bathroom. And it was really windy, but maybe you know this about me from another episode, but I don't let discomfort necessarily stop me from enjoying my time. Sometimes I do. That's not completely true. But a little chilliness never hurt anyone. It was a little windy. It's okay. We're fine. Casey did not have a coat at all. I had a sweatshirt, so I was a little bit in a better situation than him. But anyway, I was like, we went to the bathroom and I was like, we need to go on those swings right now. I don't even know if I even said anything. I might have just walked over to the swings. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think it really matters to the story. Anyway, got on the swings and I swung. Obviously. No, I just sat there still. Because swinging is for children. I mean, that is true sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to get your big booty on some of those swing seats. But these ones were nice and hardy, big ones. It was really sturdily built, metal, huge swing set. Like it had like 6 of them. It was like really big. And there was another set of them over that we saw later. Anyway, there was a lot of swings at that park. It was really great. It was actually a pretty good park. The only thing missing was one of those merry-go-rounds. Casey was like, "Where's the carousel thing?" I was like, "The merry-go-rounds?" And I was like, "Haven't you heard they're dangerous?" They're really great though, aren't they? Even though they're dangerous. But when you think of it, any of these things could be dangerous. A kid can always... Oh my goodness. We have a park near our school. In case any of you don't know, I'm a Montessori preschool teacher. Anyway, we have a park near our school. And in the spring, summer, late spring, summer, because we go to school until mid-July, we take weekly trips to the park. Anyway, this is a side story. Sorry. I hope you're okay with me telling you a side story. Anyway, we would go to this park, and so this was a couple of years ago, and I remember, we're just kind of watching the kids, and this one girl, so these girls were getting so that they could go upside down on the monkey bars. They would have their knees up on the bar, and they would, hang upside down. And I look over, and I'm like, I need to go over there. This girl was hanging upside down, and I could tell that she was terrified. She couldn't get herself back up. And so I go over there and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like putting my arms under her. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, she's like, "Let me help you." And so I helped her get up, and she was just like terrified. But like, if no one had noticed, how long could have that girl had hung there? And then she would have fallen and got a head injury or something like that. Like, that's the thing. Like, kids get injuries from any of the things because kids like to take risks, as they should. We have to test our boundaries and take risks. And so I understand that the merry-go-rounds are dangerous, and I'm not I'm not saying like bring them back or something like that. But I am saying that that kids are going to get hurt. That's normal. If a kid's not getting hurt, then they're not growing. They're not learning. They're not testing the boundaries of their own bodies. And I guess on a lesser extent, adults should test their boundaries and potentially get hurt. I mean, I guess I'm not saying like go out and get hurt, because obviously for adults it can be a lot more detrimental. Well, it can be detrimental for children. I'm not saying it can't be detrimental for children at all. But it's really easy for an adult to like hurt themselves and then spend the rest of their lives with this nagging injury that never fully heals, or just they get arthritis. I mean, I guess maybe you're getting arthritis from even injuries from when you're younger too, maybe. I don't know. I'm not an expert on arthritis, in case you don't know. Us Montessori teachers are experts on arthritis. Actually, we probably should be, because I think a lot of us have like problems, pains from getting on the floor and getting up from the floor. And did you hear? My knee just like cracked from me moving it, because that's how my body is now from being a Montessori teacher. Okay, that was a tangent that did not need to happen. But so I'm gonna go back to the original story. So we did the swings. The swings worked pretty good for us. Casey is 6'4", so I think he had to work a little harder for his legs not to touch the ground. But it was okay for us big-bodied people to do the swings. Then we went over to some of the other play equipment. And like there's like that thing where it's like the bars and it's like a dome. And Casey, because he's so big, I think he just wanted to like see if he could just kind of walk up it with his chute. And he was just like, oh, this doesn't work, I mean, I understand that he doesn't want to like, be on his hands with his legs, because he's not small like a child. He's very tall. Anyway, so that didn't go very well. He didn't do very much of that. And I didn't try to do that because partly because I didn't want to, but also, like, there's certain things where I'm like, I'm not sure what that's gonna, with my ankle, my sturdiness, because I still have tendonitis in my ankle, though it's getting better. Anyway, I climbed up a couple of things. I climbed through one of those little plastic tunnel things. I'm definitely too big for that. I mean, obviously I didn't get like stuck or anything, but I had to just be up, like, I had to like army crawl with my elbows, because I couldn't be like on my knees, because I was too big for it. I'm not even that big of a, I mean, I'm chubby, fat. So maybe that's it more than like a height thing. Maybe. But I'm sure that there's children that are, because like, how old are we thinking for children, right? I was as tall as I was gonna get at 13, and I feel like a 13-year-old should still be able to play on these things. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be kind of tight, And as you get to be an older child, you just have to adapt and army crawl through a tunnel, as opposed to on your hands and knees like a 5-year-old. Sorry, older kids. Anyway, so I army crawled through a tunnel. It was kind of fun, even though it was also awkward. So awkward. So I would say most of my play experience on that equipment was My play experience? Yeah, the experience on the equipment was awkward because I'm just too big for it. And I went down a slide and I couldn't sit up until I got like, because it was another tube, one. And so I got to the bottom and I was just like scooting myself down farther so that I could sit up. It was really funny. There's a picture and it's really good. And I'm gonna put it on the Instagram because I can't not share it. It's so good. I was going through the pictures last night because we just got back last night from our trip to Eastern Washington. And yeah, when I saw it, I just started laughing because it's really good. Oh, and then Casey went on this like thing that like rocks. It's got like big, gnarly like iron springs underneath it, and it's like this board. So it's like I think it's like 3 springs, and then it's like this metal grated board thing. It's not a board because it's metal. I guess I just keep on thinking of it kind of like a surfboard or skateboard, but obviously it's a completely different material, and it's like graded and stuff like that. But I don't know what else to call it. I just keep on calling it it's a board. It's a surfboard, right? It's a flat surface. Therefore it's a board, right? Anyway, so he gets on there and he's got good balance. But it was also windy, so anyway, he's on there and he's like rocking a lot, like back and forth. And it was just like, he's like, how do kids do this? And I was like, well, your center of gravity is a lot different than a child's. So it's rocking way more than it's going to rock for someone who's a 1.5 feet shorter than you. Someone who's only 5 feet tall or shorter, it's not going to rock so much. And he's like, okay, yeah. And it's like, but it's also windy, so it's like maybe that's adding to it. I don't know. And it wasn't like a tornado kind of wind or anything like that, but it was windy. Anyway, I think he was a little bit scared because he didn't really have very good control over it, because it just kept rocking. But he did. I mean, he managed to get to the end and jump off. He was fine. But yeah, he was really rocking. I think that's mostly the play equipment that we played on. But it's just, you can just take the 10-15 minutes of your time and just go explore something. If there's no kids around, you can go play on some play equipment. I mean, that's the thing. We were really lucky. There was no one in that park. So we didn't have to feel like we're those people. You know those people. What are you doing? Why are you here? This place is for children. Right now it's for us. If you get lucky and find a park that's empty, just go slide down a slide. Go swing on some swings. Just go do something, because it'll add some laughter to your life, and the rest of your day you'll be in higher spirits, which will then make you a more productive worker. And that's the thing, obviously it's not like you can't still be an adult and take time to be silly. Just have some nonsense in your life. I like a little nonsense in my life. I've used the word nonsense before in this podcast because I like it. You need some nonsense in your life. Can I just say that just making this podcast is fun? And I feel really lucky to be here. And I hope that there are people out there that are listening and that they find it fun to hear my silly little stories. Today, do something silly and fun. Doesn't have to be playing on play equipment, obviously. Just do something. And if you want, you can share it with me. And I will share the joy with you of you living your life, your best life, because your best life is a life with fun, real fun, not that fake fun that when you're like, oh, we're having fun and I'm still thinking about how much I hate my body and I'm thinking about my to-do list and I really need to go back and cook dinner. But that was fun. Unplug. And I don't mean necessarily like unplug, like don't have any electronics kind of unplug. I just mean just don't think about the things that you need to do with your day for just a short amount of time. 10 minutes. Just do something for yourself. That's a demand, not a request. Be in touch with me. Come see my silly picture at Fun is Fundamental on Instagram. And let me know if you have other ideas of things that I should do, fun things I should do. And then I can talk about it on the podcast. All right, have a good week. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Have some fun. Bye.